On Wednesday, millions of South Africans will vote for their national and provincial governments. 30 years after the first multiracial elections which brought apartheid to an end and the ANC to power, South Africa's future is uncertain. For the first time, the ruling party risks losing power to an opposition stronger than ever before. In the past week, Johannesburg Journal has been looking into some of the biggest parties' manifestos. This series has revealed visions and projects shared by many parties, but also conflicting ideals and ambitions. I'm Julien Trévian. For the last time before the vote, you're watching Manifesto Explained on Johannesburg Journal. Today we focus on the economic freedom fighters. Founded in 2013 by former ANC Youth League leader Julius Malema, the party is the third in the current National Assembly. In these elections, it could lose votes to the Umkhonto we Sizwe party. Opinion polls give it approximately 10% of voting intentions. The EFF have published the longest manifesto by far. I've summarized it in 5 areas of priority: the economy and jobs, ending loadshedding, education, health and social development, and crime and governance. The EFF's manifesto is based on the idea that SA's economy remains under the control of the white minority and that the country has an obligation to redress the imbalances of the past. If in power, the party would nationalize the Reserve Bank, commercial banks, construction companies, or mines, all without compensation. The government will also create new state-owned security, roads, cleaning and landscaping, or insurance companies. The party says this would create millions of jobs. One of the EFF's hobby horses, all land would be expropriated without compensation. All of it would become state-owned and redistributed equally as land use rights with specific uses. 50% of the land would be transferred to black people by 2029 and foreign use would be restricted. South Africa's local industry would expand. All food would be locally produced, shops would be compelled to sell at least 60% of domestically produced goods, and 50% of all mineral resources would be locally beneficiated. A minimum of 80% of goods procured by the state would be made in SA, and government institutions would insource all the services they use. The EFF would reverse the phasing out of coal-powered plants and develop clean coal technologies. It would also work with Russia to develop SA's nuclear electric capacity. All contracts with independent power producers would be repealed and new private electricity projects would halt. The EFF will revoke preferential tariffs to reduce the electricity consumption of major users. It would however grant 200 kilowatt-hours of monthly free electricity to the poorest and eliminate consumer and municipal electricity debts. South Africa's education system would be free for all and decolonized. Indigenous knowledge and teaching methods would be introduced into revised curricula. The teacher-to-pupil ratio would decrease and all schools would have adequate sanitation, fencing, but also labs, libraries, IT equipment and sporting facilities. The party wants to criminalize parents not taking their children to school. The IEB would be scrapped and further studies after high school would become mandatory for all learners. Higher education would be free for all up to a first degree, including accommodation, public transport, Wi-Fi and laptops. Every black PhD student would receive R1 million. An EFF government would double all social grants, implement a 5,500 rand minimum wage with sectorial exceptions, and a 5,000 rand monthly stipend for unemployed graduates. The party would focus on primary healthcare and ensure free universal health coverage. One specialist hospital would be accessible in every health district. The EFF would ensure the equal representation of men and women in all levels of business and political representation. State procurement would be used to advance women-owned businesses. The party recognizes the specific needs of LGBTQIA+ people and would develop programs on gender, sexual diversity, and fight discrimination. It would also champion the rights of people with disabilities. An EFF government would understand crime as a socio-economic issue and focus on the development of all communities. Bonuses would be awarded to police officers who arrest dangerous criminals or conduct investigations leading to successful prosecution. 100,000 more officers would be recruited and trained. Bi-yearly fitness tests would become mandatory to remain in the SAPS. The EFF would be a corruption-free government and reduce the president's power to strengthen parliament. Chapter 9 institutions would have a separate budget for greater independence. This takes us to the end of this explainer. Thank you for watching. I hope this series helped some of you make up their minds or make sense of the political offer available to South Africans. You can support Johannesburg Journal by subscribing and by liking, commenting and sharing this video. I'll see you again very soon to unpack the election results once they're available. Until then, Salagarli, and don't forget, your vote matters.